And it's new comic book day again. Got a bunch of things. Let's take a look. Alien Paradiso. Aquaman. 2 covers there. Assorted Crisis Events. That's a new series. Absolute Batman number 4. That's a second printing. Batman Adventures. This is a facsimile edition of issue 12 from like 25 years ago. This is the first comic appearance of Harley Quinn. There's a shiny version. So I got a couple of those because some people will be excited about that. Batman Dark Patterns. And then a shiny facsimile edition of Detective Comics 31. Just a iconic cover. Murphy Anderson, I believe. And then a collection of the current run of Detective Comics. This is Act 3 of Gotham Nocturne. Batman and Robin, and a lot of glare. That's a little better. Black Lightning. Cardcaptor Sakura. Dark Crystal. This is the collection for the 3-issue adaptation. It had been re-released, re-releasing the old Marvel adaptation. This is just putting those 3 parts together. Darkwing Duck gets a new series. DC vs. Vampires World War V. Deadpool crossing over with Miles Morales. Drifters gets new omnibus collections. This is 3 volumes in 1. DuckTales. Flash Gordon. Geiger. A 3rd printing of G.I. Joe number 1. Similar to the second, similar to a special cover. I can't remember. It wasn't a reprint. Gotham City Sirens. This collects the recent mini-series featuring Harley and Ivy and Catwoman. Green Arrow Against the Wall is a collection of the recent issues of Green Arrow, connected during the storyline of Absolute Power. Herculoids, another nostalgia book from Dynamite. And we got a bunch of covers. That should be it. Iron Man. And the current new adaptation of Labyrinth continues. Lady Mechanica Volume 8. That collects the recent miniseries. Mystic U. This is a young adult's graphic novel. I feel like this isn't new, but maybe it is. But it features Zatanna and a handful of other kid-aged magic users from the DC universe. Namor. Nick Fury versus Fin Fang Foom, which is just fun and funny. There'll be a couple things similar to that, I believe. Phoenix. Powerpuff Girls. Red Coat. Space Ghost. Spawn. Violator. This is the last issue of the Violator miniseries. Amazing Spider-Man. It's the end of the 8 deaths of Spider-Man, and it connects to One World Under Doom. Because everything does. Star Trek. Star Trek Lower Decks. Star Wars Legacy of Vader. And a lot of glare. See, there you go. A DC Finest collection for Suicide Squad Trial by Fire. This is the beginning of the Suicide Squad. Way back in the 80s. Absolute Superman. And 2 covers. And 3 covers. And then Action Comics. And a lot of glare. And then a facsimile edition of Swamp Thing 37. And a couple of covers here. This is the first appearance of John Constantine, I believe. I believe that's why we're doing it. Terminator. And it makes sense that he has the action figure cover. There's 2 Thunderbolts collections. This is the Saga of the Winter Soldier, and this is the Saga of Yelena Belova. This is just a handful of different stories stuck together to give you a sense of who those characters are, where they came from. Thundercats, and 2 covers there. And then a handful of Transformers reprints. That's a 11th printing of number 1. That's a 7th printing of number 2. It's a 5th printing of number 3. That's a 4th printing of number 6. That's a 3rd printing of number 8. That's a 3rd printing of number 11. 2nd printing of number 12, and there's 2 covers for that one. 3rd printing for number 13. 2nd printing for number 14. 2 covers there. And then a regular issue, number 18. And 2 covers there. Who's that? It's what we like to call the spoiler cover. All New Venom. Void Rivals. X-Factor, part of X-Man Hunt. And then a new set of collections for the Age of Apocalypse series from X-Men. This includes the very beginning of that series of series. This goes through like the first issues of the mini-series that replaced all the X-books for 4 months. So I'm guessing there's going to be 4 of these volumes. And that seems kind of reasonable. And then a regular issue of X-Men, which is also part of X-Man Hunt, and Zootopia. And then a couple of extra things. New pop for Captain America as he appeared in the first Avenger. I'm in the middle of rewatching that just now, so I do that every so often, you know. A new compendium for Chew. It's the Nomnibus. If you know anything about Chew, the thing of the series is he's a detective and he has to eat part of a body to figure out what happened in the crime. So Nomnibus. It's adorable, but it's one of these big chunky volumes. And then another one, East of West, the End Times Compendium. This is alternate history and very interesting. I didn't get any farther than, I want to say, the first 2 volumes, which is probably about that much, maybe. I do intend to go back to this. I always have, but it's a lot to take in, so it's not a fast read, but fascinating and interesting. And I believe Nick Dragotta, the artist of East of West, is the current artist on Absolute Batman, so that may connect for you if that's your thing. And then a new omnibus for Black Panther by Reggie Hudlin. This is sort of when it restarted in the 2000s, I want to say. John Romita Jr. started that series on art, and then it went several other places. But the big thing from that storyline is that T'Challa and Storm of the X-Men knew each other as kids. Dead Man Omnibus, featuring mostly the Jerry Conway, Neil Adams stuff. That is a nice collection. Doctor Strange Omnibus. This starts about the time that he gets his own series. He didn't start out with his own series. Marvel had some interesting publishing hoops they had to jump through at the beginning. So not everybody had their own series, but it worked out in the end. And then a Green Arrow Omnibus, Archer's Quest. This is the series that started by Kevin Smith and was followed up by Brad Meltzer, who was a New York Times best-selling author. And it was kind of the beginnings of getting novelists to write comics. Judd Winnick had been on The Real World on MTV. So this is an interesting time in comics. Again, like 20 couple years ago. And that is everything for this week. If you see anything you like, please let me know. The sooner the better. Subscribers, again, best plan is to pick up your stuff. I have contacted a couple of you, and I'll be contacting a couple more. And we're going to get a little tighter, unfortunately. Again, 90% of you, not a problem. That other 10%, big old challenge. So that's what we got. So thanks for watching. Hope to see you soon.